Some Ashburn homes are selling in days, and others sit for weeks. And it is usually not the reason the seller thinks. The ones that are priced right, show well, and don't make a buyer do the math in their head, those are the ones that are still moving. So if your home has been sitting a while and another one sold super fast nearby, I know that it is frustrating. You're keeping the place spotless, clearing everyone out every time a showing pops up. You're checking your phone, you're waiting for the feedback, and getting nothing but crickets. And at that point, it is easy to blame the rates, the season, the economy, the market, anything except the thing actually stopping buyers. But I'm going to shoot you straight. It is usually not just the market. And here's the good news hiding in that. Almost everything actually holding your house back is fixable. I'm Atif with Deluxive Homes, and I help people buy and sell here in Northern Virginia, and I've lived in Broadlands for years. My job is to protect your equity, which sometimes means telling you the uncomfortable things instead of the comfortable ones. That is exactly what I look at in an Ashburn seller pricing review. Because pricing is not just the number. It is the condition, the photos, the competition, the timing, the way buyers feel when they walk through your house. I look at Ashburn listings all the time. And when a home sits, it usually comes down to a few things. The price, the presentation, the access, or the way buyers feel once they walk through. And near the end, I'll give you a simple 3-part test that tells you exactly why your home is getting passed over. Quick preview. Getting no clicks? That's price or photos. Getting showings but no offers? That's a value mismatch. I'll break it all down in a minute. Look, if your house is sitting, you're probably suspicious of the agents right now. Fair. You might think I'm just going to tell you to slash the price so I can get an easy sale. But that is not how I work. Dropping the price is the last resort, not a first strategy. Before we ever touch the price, we look at what is actually causing the friction. Because if you cut the price without fixing the real problem, you sell for less and keep the same weakness. And that is how sellers lose money twice. So let's go through what is actually happening. Start with how buyers are walking through homes right now. This is the part a lot of sellers miss. The market can shift before sellers fully feel it. A few months ago, buyers may have been moving faster. Maybe they had fewer choices. Maybe your neighbor caught a better moment. But that doesn't mean that you automatically, that the house gets the same reaction today. If homes around you are sitting longer, if price drops are showing up, if buyers have more options, your plan has to adjust before the market forces you to adjust. That does not mean panic. It means you come out smarter. And here's something almost no agent will tell you. In a market where homes are sitting longer, the smart move is to price ahead of the market, not behind it. Most sellers do the opposite. They price high, watch it sit, drop a little, then drop some more. That is called chasing the market down, and you can never catch it. Ever cut lands after the damage is already done? So you're always one step behind buyers instead of one step ahead of them. The seller who priced it right at the front gets to negotiate from strength. The seller who chases it down is negotiating from the listing that already looks desperate. Same house, completely different outcome. Because in this kind of market, overpricing is not a small mistake. It can make a good house look like a problem house. Once buyers see a listing sitting, they start asking questions, and you know that. Why is it still available? What am I missing? And how the house has doubt attached to it. That is why the first number matters so much, my people. You are not just picking a price, you are creating the first impression. And here's a part that really stings. Time on the market is a silent price cut. Let me say that again. Time on the market is a silent price cut. Even if you never touch your number, every week your home sits, buyers quietly lower what they are willing to offer. They see the days piling up and they think, this one is negotiable. I'll just come in low. So the price on the listing might say one thing, but in the buyer's head, your price is dropping every single week, whether you agree to it or not. And right now, buyers are stressed. Housing is expensive. So when they walk into a home and the seller is asking top dollars, they are ruthless, not rude, ruthless. They're walking through with their calculator brain on. Here's the most common trap I see, the condition to price mismatch. A seller sees what a brand new one Loudoun home is selling for and wants that same number for their older Ashburn farmhouse with original cabinets. And the trap is assuming buyers won't notice the gap. They notice everything. They are mentally subtracting the paint, carpet, the aging HVAC, the old roof, the kitchen that was updated sometime around the same era as Blockbuster and MySpace. And listen, your home does not have to be perfectly updated to sell. That is not the point. But it has to be priced for the condition that it is actually in. That is the whole game. Let me tell you about a seller who taught me how expensive hope can be. Great people. Their home was genuinely nice. They had taken care of it for years. But they had a number in their head, and that number came from what they wanted the house to be worth, not what the homes around them were actually selling for. I gave them an honest price. They wanted to test a higher one first. So we tested it. Week 1, quiet. Week 2, a couple of showings, no offers. By week 3, the same buyer who would have jumped early were asking what was wrong with it. Because in a buyer's mind, a house that sits must have a flaw. The listing starts carrying a question mark. We dropped the price. Then we dropped again. And it finally sold for less than the honest number I gave them on day 1. Weeks of stress, 2 price cuts, and a smaller check at the end. That is losing money twice, just to avoid a price that they did not want to hear at the start. That is the thing about hope. It feels safe, but in this market, it can be the most expensive strategy there is. The home price right on day one usually beats the one that tests a dream number first. Now let's talk about the part where good homes quietly lose. The photos. Your buyer is not meeting your house at the front door. They are meeting it on a phone screen at 11 p.m. Thumb already moving. Your listing photos are your real first open house. If those photos are dark, crooked, cluttered, or looks like that your 2-year-old took it with somebody running from the police while them taking it, buyers are just gonna keep scrolling. They never get to the kitchen you redid, the nice backyard, the way the space actually feels when you stand in it. A home can be a great person. A home can be a great in person and weak online. And in this market, weak online means invisible. And here's the nugget most sellers never hear. Your first 2 weeks on the market are the only time your home is new. That is when the buyers who have been watching, waiting, already pre-approved and ready to go, all go see it for the first time. And that is your hottest, most motivated audience, and you only get them once. If you overprice those first 2 weeks, you're not testing the market. You're burning your best buyers on a number you were probably going to lower anyways. By the time you drop to the right price, the right buyers have already moved on. You do not get a second first impression. Everything I'm telling you is from experience. Please take it to your heart. I had another seller call me right after their home sat for months with a different agent. They were sure that the market had crashed. I walked in, and honestly, the house felt heavy. Oversized furniture, dark paint, and it smelled like 2 big dogs lived there, which they did. The market was fine. The presentation was killing the equity. We pulled it off, painted it light, cleared it out, handled the smell and the small stuff, and brought it back properly. It sold in days. Sometimes the smartest move is not the price cut. Sometimes it's fixing the first impression before you burn through your listing momentum. The next one sounds small until it costs you an offer, access. If buyers need too much notice to get in, or the weekends are blocked off, and you're making it easy for them to skip you, and I know keeping a house show ready is brutal. Kids, pets, work, school, dishes, laundry, real life. Like, I get it. But nobody wants to live like they are in a museum where one sock is on the floor becomes a family emergency. But Ashburn gets relocation buyers, military family heading towards the Pentagon, tech folks moving for data center jobs, families flying in for the 48-hour house hunting trip. They have 5 homes to see and a tight window. If yours is the hardest one to get into, you may not make the list. They just buy the one down the street, and a buyer can't fall in love with a house they've never been inside. Quick one for the comments. If you've sold before, what was the part for you? The prep, showing, or negotiation? Which was the worst part for you? I'd love to hear that in the comments. Now, let me simplify this in 10 seconds. If your home is not selling, it is one of these three things: traffic, showings, or feedback. And most sellers already have a feeling which one it is. They just have not said it out loud yet. First, online traffic. If almost nobody is clicking, it is usually a photos problem, a price problem, or could be both. The first picture or the first number is scaring them off before they even engage. Second is showings. So if people are clicking but nobody's booking a tour, the photos pull them in, but something in the listing has talked them back out. Could be the layout looks awkward in the pictures. Could be that the condition, once they got a closer look. Sometimes it's just the price not matching with what they're seeing. Third, feedback. If they are touring but not writing offers, that is usually a value problem. They liked it enough online to show up. Then they walked in, looked around, and the price did not match what they felt standing there at the house. And here is the rule that saves sellers the most money. If you hear the same comment more than once, it's not an opinion anymore. That is a market data with shoes on. One person says it is dark, fine. 5 people say it is dark. Now we're looking at lighting, paint, or photos, not arguing with them. An unsold house is not always a mystery. Sometimes it is the math problem we have not solved yet. So before you blame the market or blindly drop your price, figure out which bucket you're actually in. Because a lazy agent says, just cut the price. But a real strategy is that you actually find the things stopping the buyers and you fix it. And sometimes, yes, the answer is price. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, especially in this market. Overpricing is a mistake you feel for weeks. Not because buyers are mean, because buyers have more information than ever. They can compare your house to 10 other homes while sitting on the couch eating potato chips. So when the price is off, the condition doesn't match, or the home has been sitting and they can feel it before they even walk in. That is why the plan matters before you go live. Not after 3 bad weeks, not after 2 price cuts, and not after the listing already feels stale. Before. And here's the part sellers forget. The longer your home sits, the more negotiating power you hand the buyer. A stale listing negotiates against you, my people. So before you make another price cut, or before you list and you guess your way into a stale listing, text me and ask for the Ashburn seller pricing review. Send me the address before you make your next move, and I'll review the pricing, photos, competition, condition, and buyer experience. And I'll tell you exactly what is holding it back. Not the fluffy BS version, the useful version. Text me or call me at 571-437-1880. No obligations, no pushy follow-up. Worst case, You get an honest second opinion that costs you nothing. Because my job is not to make you feel good for 5 minutes. It is to help you sell your home without you leaving equity behind you. I'm Atif Khan with Deluxive Homes, and I keep it real in real estate. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.